Hey guys, we got news on Global that we're getting a new banner this week for Lunar New Year's. We're getting a new Neovisions base mage. I think her name was like Shuyin, something like that. I forget the name. It was, we're getting a new mage. Whether I pull for her or not depends completely on the data mine. When I get more information, we don't really know much about her yet. But we're also getting a new trial, Scorn of Asura. So I'm going to go ahead and preview the fight real quick on the JP server. Now, this is a fight that I've done many times on the JP server. Probably one of the most common fights that I run on the JP server these days. Because it is a very challenging fight, and it, of course, makes it, a good fight to run for new units because it's a hard fight. But it is going to be a hard fight on Global tomorrow, or Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and try to explain some of the mechanics real quick. This is like, a preview video. I'll use units that are only units that are available on Global. With the exception of Draconian Fina's Neovisions Awakening, this one is almost certainly coming out the week after the trial. We got her Pog Boss banner. We got we have her. She's on the banner, so it's showing. So it's like a 98% chance that she is the week after this trial. So I'm gonna go ahead and use her on the JP server because I don't have enough of her on Global, so I can't make a video with her on Global. So I'll make the Draconian Fina Princess video on JP, and then on Global I'll be using other units to get the clear in. So the first thing we're going to need is a really powerful physical tank. This trial is extremely painful. It's all physical damage, and you need a physical tank, which basically at this time on Global means Gabranth. If you don't have your own Gabranth, you can bring a friend Gabranth instead and bring your own, DPS units. I'll actually be doing that myself for the budget run because you kind of need a Gabranth. There's ways to do it without Gabranth, but you mostly need a Gabranth until new tanks come out later like Snow, Gladio, etc. But for now, Gabranth is where it's at. We're going to need a unit to seal the boss. We're going to be using Benevolent Beauty Rem. She's a really good choice for this because she can also cross-summon Golem in Phase 2, which is more action-efficient. So Phase 1, she's going to be sealing. Phase 2, she's going to cross-summon Golem. You need to seal with all 8 elements. Not every turn. They alternate per turn. I'll explain that as we go. But Rem is easy because you can gear her with all 8 elements pretty easily. She has triple cast in her kit naturally. We're also going to be using, you could also use something like Kryla on the global server. You could also use Rainbow Whip on the global server to seal all 8 elements. There's lots of ways to do it. We're going to bring a healer. We're going to use Lotus Mage Fina. You can use any healer you want. Summer Fina and Lid's a great choice. You could use, Rena's a good choice, etc., etc. Just someone to keep your tank alive. For the Breaker, we're going to use Healing Avatar Lid. I don't use her very often, but the reason I'm choosing her is because she can do a 120% Light Imperil, which is going to just save an action for our DPS, because the boss does dispel herself every now and then, and reapplying the Imperil eats into the damage from our Draconian Finas, so we're going to let Lid take care of that for us. And then Draconian Finas are going to be our DPS. So here is the team we're going to use. We're going to use Gabranth. Here is his base form. Shift form, geared, basically the same. Now you'll notice that he has very high hit points and defense. This is quite important. We're also going to be using high resistance. Now this team is not going to be curing the Imperils. You can cure the Imperils on the tank. It'll make them take a lot less damage. If your tank is not as powerful, then you really want to look into a way to cure Imperils on your tank. But mine's EX2. He's got very good gear. He's not going to need to cure the Imperils, so we're just going to eat it. Rem, like I said, she's going to be sealing all 8 elements. Now, she has fire, ice, lightning, and wind in her kit naturally. We're giving her earth and water by just equipping these level 1 black magics. She's getting light and dark from Ramu, which is dark from poison, and then light from banish. And I think that's all 8 elements. Hopefully I didn't forget one. I'm pretty sure it is. She's also full evasion. You want the person soaking or sealing the boss and soaking the counters to be full evasion. That's because the person soaking or sealing and soaking the counters is going to be getting dispelled every single turn. And then the boss at the start of the turn uses a single target cover ignoring, provoke ignoring physical hit. Now because your unit is getting dispelled, they're losing all their buffs. And if that physical hit chooses them on that turn, it can kill them and cause a problem, but that hit is the only attack in the fight that can be evaded. So evasion will protect your sealing unit from that attack. Now we're also giving her Galbana Lilies to fill her mana at the start of the turn. That's because the boss also does the mana drain, and we want her to be able to cast spells at the start of a turn. And we also gave her 3 stars to reduce her mana consumption, again, to make her easier to cast her spells after a mana drain. Fina, nothing special going on here. She's just high spirit and going to be buffing. The whole team, by the way, wants to be immune to confuse. I'm sorry, anyone attacking the boss in phase 2 wants to be immune to confusion and paralyze. You can use a buff, and we're going to use Fina to buff immunity, but if you're not using an immunity buffer, you want to have immunity. Healing Avatar Lid, nothing really special here. We gave her 12 auto limit. Other than that, we've got some Esperfill gear on the team as well. We're going to be summoning Golem pretty much every turn in phase 2, and then most turns in phase 1. So the team is wearing lots of Esperfill gear. And then Draconian Fina, Draconian Princess Fina. Technically, you could gear her base form for damage. I'm not even bothering. It's such bad damage compared to her shift. It's almost not even worth bothering, and I'm not going to bother. And I am giving her the Vermilion Flag. This is super optional, but it gives her permanent break immunity because phase 2, the boss is going to be spirit breaking us and magic breaking, and this makes her immune to the break because Fina cannot buff break immunity. It's helpful. It's completely optional. And then Shift Form is where all the damage is. We're going to be evoking. She's got 5,300 magic and some evocation gear. We've got maxed out Evo magic, 220 Evo damage, and then we're not using her LB or anything, so there you go. And then the friend we're taking is Star King. Base form, here it is, but I don't really care. We're not using it. You know, it's geared well, but whatever. Shift form is what we're looking for. 5,200 magic, maxed out Evo magic, 240 Evo damage. And there we go. What is he using with equip? Oh, double Terror STMR. Very nice. I can't do this on JP. On Global I can, though. Alright, let's go ahead and go in here and get into it. So turn 1, you don't need to seal the boss. It's kind of like a free turn. But we do want to go ahead and hit the boss 3 times just to soak those counters. So the boss counterattacks 3 times per turn to the first 3 hits he's taken, or she's taken. So we're going to just hit the boss 3 times with whatever, just to make all those counterattacks go to Rem, who is going to get dispelled now. Gabranth will go ahead into the base form, and we're going to do, we'll put up cover, personal mitigation, and physical mitigation. Fina will do, we'll do a status immunity and just a mana regen for the team. We don't need mana regen yet, though. Healing Avatar Lid will do... I've never ever used this unit, so I'm going to have to figure out as we go, so give me a moment. We are going to do this one for the Imperil, yes. And then we want to do both her breaks, and I don't know... Oh, this one. Oh, she can't triple cast those, can she? Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to... Am I the right person? Oh, so she's only going to do a 100 Imperil this turn. It's fine. We'll do a better Imperil next turn, because I actually don't want to waste any cast on Fina doing, You know what? I guess I will. So this one time, we're going to Imperil with Fina, just because Healing Avatar Lid is not set up yet. She'll take over the Imperils after this. Let's wait for this to finish. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of chaining. And Draconian Fina is a pretty good DPS, by the way. So we didn't summon Golem or anything, but turn 1 is relatively tame. Alright, there's the single target attack that ignores Provoke. It hit Fina, it was fine. And there you see, the boss hurts pretty bad, but we're okay. So now we need to start sealing the boss. You need to seal her in order, a rotating order of Fire, Ice, and then Water, Wind. No, I'm sorry. Fire, Ice, Lightning, Water, Wind, Earth, Light, Dark. So this is going to be a Fire, Ice turn, so we're going to triple cast with the Rem. We're going to seal Fire, Ice, and then whatever, just soak all the counters. We're going to use, let's use Fina to hopefully try to get, no, there's no way. There's no way this is going to get... I was kind of hoping to get Lid's LB here, if possible. Maybe I could with Gabranth. Let's go ahead and give Gabranth a defense buff. or yeah, defense buff. Let's go ahead and fill LB and do mitigation. And I'd really love to get Lid's LB here. You know, I don't think I'm going to. I kind of want to heal Gabranth as well, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna Shining Cheer, and we're gonna heal. Oh, we didn't get it. Feels bad, man. Okay, so we're just gonna do some cooldowns. There's no point actually. Okay, so we're just gonna do some chaining. Yeah, we didn't get her LBs. We didn't get the good Spirit Break on this turn. Oh well. I should have given her Call of the Wild. We'll just chain here. We only have an 80% break, and we got her LB now at least. So at least now we can do an LB for a stronger break, so Gabranth takes less damage. So now we have 85% breaks up, which is nice. All right, here come the counterattacks and all the dispels on Rem. Someone's gonna get hit with the Mana Drain. It hit the friend, which is not a big a deal. The friend has buffs. Alright, so we just did Fire, Ice. Now we need to do Lightning, Water. Alright, wait for all these autocasts to finish. We'll just go ahead and summon Golem this turn. We don't really need anything else. Rem will do triple cast. We're going to do Water, Lightning, and then just soak a counter. Alright, we will triple chain on the boss with our Finas. At this point, the boss has an 85% Spirit Break. We're doing real good damage. I'm liking that. Alright, let's do... we just did Golems. We don't need physical mitigation. And then Fina will do... How are we doing on mana? The friend got mana drained, so we're going to do... Let's do a heal for Gabranth, and let's do a Manatopia for the friend to get a little bit of mana back. Counters, dispels on Rem. Then we get the mana refill. Okay, then a single target attack that hits someone. It hit my guy, not a problem. Okay, now we need to seal Wind and Earth. Now you'll notice every third turn, the boss is going to do an attack buff on herself. There's a few ways to handle this. If your tank is super bulky, you can just ignore it, and it's okay. If you're using someone with Perfect Dispel, like Lid, you can Perfect Dispel that attack buff away. It will still leave a 30% attack buff, but Perfect Dispelling will lower it from 50 to 30. Another option is to just summon Golem. Now, because Lid is on my Golem, we're going to summon Golem and leave the attack buff there. Not really that worried about it. Gabranth is going to... well, first let's seal. This was Wind and Earth. So we need to Earth, and do Wind. Where's Wind? She has Tornado for her Wind source. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and wait for this to finish so we can then not trigger counterattacks on anyone else. Alright, let's have Gabranth do personal mitigation, and he'll hit the boss for a defense buff. He's kind of like full health already. We did Shining Cheer a minute ago. So we're going to use Fina's LB here for the AoE re-raise, just for the safety. Gabranth is not going to die here, but just on the off chance that he did die, he now has re-raise. And we're going to go ahead and chain a little bit. So we're really close to pushing the next threshold, which is nice. The bad thing is we're about to lose Draconian Fina's shift form. Her shift form is one of those where you've got 4 turns of shift, and then, oh, we lost all the mana on Lid. Yeah, I never stat potted my Lid, so she has low defense. But as you see, Gabranth got hit pretty hard, but not too bad. I don't even know how to use Fina's base form. I guess I didn't gear mine. We're just literally going to just guard here. Like, we're just going to guard. Who cares? And now we need to do light and dark sealing. So we're going to... Now, here's the tricky part. We can't triple cast the light element skill because it's a white magic. So we're going to use... we're just going to triple cast dark with our Rem here to seal. So dark, dark, dark. All the counters have been absorbed. We're going to go ahead and break with Rem. Fina is going to heal the tank. And then she'll seal light with her light attacks. Gabranth will just cut up cover and mitigation. I just made a mistake. We did not use Golem this turn, and Gabranth did not do his physical mit. He is going to get hit really hard here. He has no physical mitigation. This is... Actually, he's got 30%. The JP had green magic updates that He's got 30% permanent physical mitigation because of the green magic updates in JP. Global won't have that, so if on Global he would have gotten hit a lot harder, but he should have survived. Next turn, we can use Draconian Fina to shift again. So for now, we're just going to... Okay, we're going to... I kind of want to get prepared for this shift. And this is going to be a painful phase shift. Gabranth does not... Let's Golem here. Gabranth does not have his cooldown ready. I kind of used it earlier and I shouldn't have. Ugh, mistakes were made. Let's do these buffs for now. Let me think. Alright, well, we just sealed light and dark last turn. Now the sealing rotation loops back around to fire and ice. So we're gonna seal fire and ice with these. We're gonna just hang out with Fina. She can shift next turn, and next turn we'll get into the good damage again. Lotus Mage Fina will... Let's go ahead and give us a buff, and let's put up a general mitigation for those of us that get targeted with the cover ignoring attack. We don't have general mitigation from Gabranth anymore. Alright, so next turn we can push the next threshold. So there you go. There was the attack that hit Rem. Now that attack, Rem would have been dispelled and had no buffs, and it could have potentially killed her. So this is the turn the boss has a attack buff again. But now we're going to go ahead and finish off this boss. So we're going to go ahead and shift our Draconian Finas. And we're going to shift this one as well. So before we do anything, let's have Gabranth get ready for this attack. This is going to be an attack. Now the boss, when she phase changes, is going to attack your team twice with no breaks whatsoever, and then use an AoE fire attack. Gabranth is immune to fire from the gear I gave him, so we don't need to worry about that. So we're going to just use Gabranth to personal mitigate and use one of his Magnuses for an 80% physical mitigation. Let's go ahead and let's do our damage with Fina first, and we'll Imperil and then double chain. This will definitely finish off the phase. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, so she's not going to counterattack because the phase is changing here. So we're going to use Rem. Now, just in case your tank died here, you want kind of some safety. So we're going to use Rem here to triple cast, and we're going to AoE re-raise just in case our tank would have died. Our tank is not going to die because he's very strong. But if your tank is not super strong, then this would have given you protection for going into this phase change. We're just going to guard Lid for now, or healing Avatar Lid. And then Fina will Shining Cheer to fill LB gauge. And we'll go ahead and do a resist buff as well. And we're going to save Lid's LB for the next phase. Okay. Yeah, as you see, that's a really painful phase change. And if you're not using an EX2 Gabranth or an EX1 Gabranth with great gear, it can be very, very dangerous and potentially even lethal. Make sure re-raise is up on him just in case. Don't forget his Magnus does apply re-raise naturally. Now in phase 2, you want to never, ever, ever mix elements. You know, we've been sealing multiple elements per turn in phase 1. For phase 2, you do not want to do that. If you hit her with 2 or more elements in a single turn, she will eject units. It ignores provoke. She might eject your tank. If that happens, it's like, you know, game over, man, game over. But we're going to keep going, and we're going to now use 1 element per turn only ever, which means Rem can no longer, like, hit the boss. We're going to use Rem every single turn to just summon Golem. That's her job for the rest of this fight. Now the boss in this phase will also, anytime you attack her, she's not going to dispel it anymore, but she will confuse and paralyze the person that attacks her. If you're immune, it's not a problem. We're using immunity buff with Fina, so we're good. We're going to go ahead and LB with Lid. We're going to use Gabranth to mitigate and cover. We're going to use Fina to heal and just general mit. And we're going to use... We have to Imperil again because Healing Avatar Lid is busy. I kind of brought Healing Avatar Lid so she could do Imperils for us, but she's actually not been using that, like, pretty much at all. So that maybe kind of a mistake. I should have brought someone better. But anyway, so now Asura is going to start... There's the... See the counter confusion? So now Asura is going to start using a defense and spirit buff for 2 out of 3 turns. And she also cures herself every now and then. That was kind of a bad turn. She cured all her debuffs, which, you know, rude. And she broke our stats and all. Remember how I said we want stat break immunity? Mine is using permanent immunity to, my Fina is using permanent immunity to magic and spirit breaks. The friend doesn't have it, the rest of the team doesn't have it. So we are broken on stats. It's only a 50% break, it's not that big a deal. But it does, you know, kind of suck a little bit. So we're gonna use, this girl, what is this girl's name? Healing Avatar Lid to, go ahead. You know what, actually? We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and use her to re-imperil the boss to Holy, so we can just go straight into pure damage from this phase on. But like I mentioned, the boss now has a defense and spirit buff for 2 out of 3 turns, so the damage the boss takes is going to be quite reduced until she's below, until that goes down every now and then. So we're going to use, let's go ahead and do our damage first. We'll just chain a little bit. Also, when the boss is below 70% health, or at 70, she's going to start using a heal every few turns, which is kind of annoying. It's going to heal the boss 5% health every few rounds. It's really irritating. Not much you can do about that other than just like power through it. And we're gonna start keeping a resistance buff up with Veil with Fina for resistance, because we're not curing the imperils on our tank. So you notice our tank here is getting imperiled. He's got a ice and thunder imperil. He's got lots of fire resist. And there we go. Thunder attack. There's the heal. You know, irritating. She does it every like 5 turns. I kind of wish we had stopped the boss at 71%, but whatever. So let's see. Let's go ahead and do an LB to break again. Let's do that, and we will just chain once these finishes. Go ahead and chain. All right. Next turn, the boss will be the shield will be down, so we can actually deal some good damage here. The friend is using a little bit of mana, so let's go ahead and heal and Manatopia with Lotus Mage Fina, so the friend regenerates a little bit. Alright, here's the confusion counter. Not a problem. And some damage here. And now we're going to get a good damage turn in when the boss has no, Oh, we just lost our shift form. Oh no, I forgot we used the turn on the previous turn. The previous form. Okay, so we're just gonna guard twice. We're just gonna hang out. We're not gonna bother trying to like get fancy or anything. The boss's breaks have 3 more turns. We'll just guard you. We kind of want to use LB on Fid soon, so we're gonna heal the tank. We don't really need healing. We're just gonna Shining Cheer twice. Oh, actually, the boss cures her breaks this turn. We do want healing, so we're gonna heal the tank, and we're going to Shining Cheer a little bit. We're going to use Gabranth to mitigate, and we're going to put up a bigger defense and spirit buff. Because this turn, the boss is going to cure her breaks and continue to attack. And because we're not curing the imperils, we're not going to be immune to the follow-up, so it's going to hurt pretty bad. So you'll watch here. She does 2 physical attacks. I have my turns off. She's curing her breaks this turn. I had my turns off. It's okay. It's not a problem. Not a problem. So she's going to cure her breaks this turn. So we're just going to guard. We're just going to guard our friends. We're going to guard you. We're going to golem. We're good to go on LB, so we're going to just do this, and we're going to do a little bit of resist buff with Lotus Mage Fina. And this turn, you'll see the boss is going to do 2 physical attacks before curing her breaks. Then she's going to cure her breaks. There's the cure, and she kept attacking. That thunder attack hit our tank, and the tank is not immune currently. He was only at 40% resist, so he did have a 60% because we're not curing the imperils. But at this point, we can go back into the shift form. The boss cured her breaks. Her shield is up. We're going to use Healing Avatar Lid to break the boss again. Make sure you always re-break the enemy after her breaks get cured. Because if you don't, well, that'll be, real bad news. So let's go ahead and start chaining again with our Draconian Fina. Let's see. Rem wants to golem every turn. We will use Gabranth to buff his own defense with, I think it's called Judgment Strike, maybe? I don't know. Going to do a little bit of chaining. And next turn, we're finally going to get a turn in where the boss does not have her shield up. So it seems like this phase is going really, really slow, and it kind of is a little bit. But that's mostly because of the cooldown on Draconian Fina's shift form. If she could stay in her shift form permanently, she'd be just amazingly overpowered. But she can't. It's only 4 out of 6 turns. Okay, so at this point, the boss, the shield is down. We can do some good damage. We've got all our buffs up. So let's go ahead and do a quad cast on the boss with Holy Element. So let's go ahead and wait for all this to finish. Let's pop Golem first. And let's... so the boss does 60%. How much do we do per turn with the shield down? 60%, and we're doing 22% in 1 round. Not bad at all. Alright, Gabranth will put up his stuff, and Fina will just keep the tank alive. Really all that's going on here with her. We'll just heal the tank and put up a resistance buff. Alright, I think this is the turn the boss heals as well, so she's going to gain 5% back, go back to 43%. Oh no, she didn't heal this turn. That's fine. But the shield is back up, so that kind of sucks. We'll do an LB with you. We'll Golem with you. We don't really need much healing on Gabranth, so and the boss is not curing her breaks, so we're going to double Shining Cheer here to fill Lid's LB a little bit. So we can get her LB when the boss does cure her breaks. So even when the shield is up, we're still doing okay-ish damage, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and put up Mitigation and Judgment Strike or whatever for Gabranth for his 20% Spirit buff. So we're going to be somewhere around the 21-22 turn clear if I had to guess. The boss is going to heal at some point. There's the healing. 30%. Oh yeah, very fun. Alright, we've got imperils and all, so we'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and chain a little bit. I think this is the last turn of her shift form. Yeah, so we're definitely going to get it in another phase. I think this is the turn the boss cures her breaks, so we're going to go ahead and put up a heal, and we're going to put up a resist buff as well. We'll guard you. We'll put up cover and mitigation. And the reason we're not casting physical mitigation on Gabranth is because we're using Golem every single turn, so we don't need to. If you're not doing Golem every single turn, there's the cure, and then the boss did a fire attack after curing her breaks. Now, if you're using if you're curing imperils, that wouldn't be a problem. We're out of shift form, so we're going to go ahead and have to do that. The boss cured her breaks. We're going to break her again. We're going to go ahead and just heal again with Fina. We'll just do this and this. And yeah, at this point, we're just waiting 2 turns until we can get back into the shift form with Draconian Finas, and we will finish off the boss. So we're going to finish him off on turn 20, I think. A Draconian Fina is a really nice NVA. I'm actually tempted to UOC for her on Global. I've only got 2 copies, though, so I'd need like a bunch of UOCs to make her work on Global. So I don't know. Feels bad. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and Shining Cheer twice to fill LB, because I want Lid to be ready to go soon. And we will just Judgment thing here. Now, I didn't heal on Gabranth, so this might hurt him a little bit. He's got regeneration, though. He's fine. He's fine. As long as it's not a turn the boss cures her breaks, it's not really a big deal. There's the heal again. It actually might be a 21 turn clear, it looks like. So we can shift now, and hopefully the boss's shield is down next turn, not this turn. It is down next turn. Outstanding. So it means this turn, we're good. Alright, so we do that, we will just, we'll re-imperil with Lid, so we can skip the imperil on our Fina. We'll just do magic buff and triple cast chaining. Wait for this to finish. Go ahead and do this. Oh yeah, we win next turn. Golem, so we'll just cover again with Gabranth, and let's see, we need to do healing, so we'll do healing and a little bit of resist buff with Lotus Mage Fina. I guess Lotus Mage Fina is actually pretty good for this fight, honestly, and maybe I'll use her in one of my global clears, but she won't be on my first clear. Okay, so now the boss's shield is down. Yeah, so we like super win this turn. Let's go ahead and do a big break just to be safe. We'll do quad cast light element chaining, and there is Asura. So on global, I'll be doing something pretty similar to this. Yep, there we go. So this was, you know, a global copyable clear using all these units. Like I said, Draconian Fina's NVA is almost guaranteed to be coming out 1 week after the trial. On day 1 of the trial, I'll probably be using Ibarra as my first clear. And like usual, when the trial comes out, I do tons and tons of clears. So I'll be doing more than just the Ibarra clear. But there is a preview fight for Scorn of Asura. Now, as long as you've got a very, very powerful Gabranth, it's a relatively straightforward trial. If your Gabranth is not very powerful, it gets a lot trickier to do. This boss really hurts. Like, you saw my Gabranth, 43,000 health, 4,300 defense, and he still dropped pretty low some turns. But anyway, yeah. And as far as the new mage coming out, shoot something or other, we will wait for her data mine. If her data mine is really, really good, then I will probably go for it. All right. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Later.